Hello, Mr. Terry. Welcome in for Mr. Charles, who's probably somewhere flyover country right now on his way from Kentucky to California. It is not a Tuma. So we're going to have a terrific Terry Thursday after a terrific Terry Tuesday. We're going to go down to a place probably. I mean, I know I wish I was probably in Miami. I mean, you got nice weather out there.
Yeah. Well, it rained like crazy yesterday in California.
In California, yes.
Yeah,
It
we
is
had a lot
not
of
a
rain.
Tuma.
No.
You guys have actually put Arnold Schwarzenegger in as governor. What's wrong with your state, man?
Well, I don't know. I thought he did okay.
Anyway, I'm just kidding.
Drove
Not really. But
drove
anyway,
he
so
drove
we're
around.
gonna do Gulfstream Park on Thursdays going forward. It'll be our home on Thursdays because the championship meet. It's where all the good horses are. It's where all the good jockeys are. Notwithstanding the great racing in Kentucky and California as well. Today, if you'd like, free track today is Evangeline Downs tonight at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link down in the description below. You probably want to take a close look at what we're doing on the weekends because we've been smoking it at Del Mar, at Gulfstream Park, at Aqueduct, at the big tracks. Oaklawn opens tomorrow, so that should be a lot of fun too, Terry. A lot of big tracks running, despite the fact the weather's getting a little bit colder around the country. Hopefully, Terry, our picks are hot today in that South Florida weather. What's happening in race El Número Uno?
Well, let me see here. Race number 1 is a mile and 16th on the turf, and it's let's see, it's for maidens, 3-year-olds and upward.
Yes, the maiden claiming price of $25,000 for a purse of $32,000. Terry, down there, they have a lot of different tracks to pick from, and they're running all over the place down there. Different distances, different surfaces. It really made us work hard. At a mile and a 16th on the turf, this might be the only distance I think we might see twice today with the same surface. It does favor stalkers. 16% of the horses go wire to wire. There is a little bit of rail bonus for assertive attitude. 2 through 7 play fair. 8 and out is a little bit of a penalty. We do 1,000 simulations, Terry, using speed figures. We want to find odds that are potentially value plays there. Our odds, we hope, are lower than post-time odds. We also use the speed figures in our 1,000 simulations to see how many times the horse runs a speed figure in those 1,000 simulations above par. In this case, the par figure is 80, is the average winner. And then we also do some early speed analysis. Here it tells you what percent chance the horse has to have the lead at the quarter-mile marker. And based upon how fast we project them to go, how likely this race is to mirror the best performances. So the one horse, assertive attitude, 86% chance that our projected pace makes him comfortable, hence C-zone. Terry, what is the data showing you?
Well, there's several horses in here that shows some speed, but the 13, 8, and 5 have the most speed. As far as the overlays, there's only one horse I can see is that 5. It's supposed to be around 7 to 5. It's listed 10 to 1 on the morning line. And then the par numbers, 5, 9, and 4 have par numbers. Nobody else has any. All of them have pretty decent C-zones except for the 3 and 6.
Yeah, and if you just take a look, the one that's checking a lot of boxes there is that 5. The overlay, strong par plus, decent chance to get on the lead. But I'd like to see a more robust liking for our projected pace. In race number 1, our race shape shows us, as we do pace analysis, 2, 3, 10, and 11 so far in their limited careers have not been within 5 lengths of the leader. Maybe you can put an X through some of those. Otherwise, of the other horses, it looks to be a little bit middle back biased. So maybe the ones that do get to the front will have a little better opportunity here. Billy Price, the 5 horse, closer with some of the most early speed. That becomes a left arrow horse. We might really wish we put that one on top. Late speed, when they're coming home down the stretch, the AE that scratched into this race, always got to be careful with those. It's a little bit of late speed. Barry the Builder, he's got some late speed too, but there's a lot in here that are pretty similar. I think, Terry, the total pace is going to tell us that this is a very competitive opening effort. Billy Price, though, does have a little bit of an edge, about 3/4 of a length of a horse over everybody else. Where do you have? Well, you don't have Billy the Edge, Terry. We both, you got the 9 horse, Barry the Builder.
I do. Barry the Builder is my first choice. He finished third in his last race, and he has the highest last speed rating. He has the best start speed among today's starters, and he switches to high percentage winning jockey. Carzone is number 4, my second pick. He returns to the turf, which could help, and he has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 28% of the maiden claiming races he has a horse entered in, and has a high percentage winning jockey. Joint Revolution, the 7's my third pick. He was only beaten 1 3/4 lengths in his last start, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Mr. Bazell is my long shot. The 3 drops in class today. The breeding suggests he'll like the grass, as his dam has 3 winners from 5 starters, and one of those was a turf winner. And he has a trainer who wins 33% of races, going from a maiden to a maiden claiming. I played a dollar daily double. I like the 3, 4, 7, 9 with the 4, 6.
I like Terry. I feel like I want to go into that song, right? I like big butts and I cannot lie. But anyway,
Yeah.
I like the 3 horse. Mr. Brizzle stumbled at the start of its last race. You just run back 1 race, Terry. It should do well on the maiden special weight drop. Barry the Builder versus Bob the Builder has been close to winning in its last 2 races. Missed by a nose, just a nose at this level last time, 2 races back, excuse me. Joint Resolution. This one's got a good chance to improve in its second start after a layoff. My concern about the 7 horse and why I didn't probably put it a little bit higher, this is a 4-year-old that for the first time in its career is making 2 consecutive starts. So I don't know if it means it's finally healthy or like its previous starts, it's sore a little bit perhaps, and they just put him out there. And then finally, Billy Price showed early speed and then fades. Does have a bullet work since that last race, so maybe the endurance will be better today, and is making that maiden special weight drop. I'm going to do a $1 double, the 3-9 over the 4 and the 7, Terry. And that, for whatever reason, Gulfstream Park has the Charlestown clock, and that the horses don't, even though it's post time, they're not ready to run just yet. So, but real quick thing, Terry, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about. You ever have a conversation, people always say they want you to be truthful, and then when you're truthful, they don't like what you hear and they get mad at you?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, right. So people don't really want you to be truthful to them, do they? They just want you to tell them what you want to hear.
What they want to hear, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. It's unfortunate at times too, because I feel like if you can get some hurdles out of the way, it can make for a better friendship down the road, right?
Yeah. A lot of times when they do that to me, and then I tell them, they don't actually come out and say and get mad, but you can see it on their face. You can hear it in the tone of their voice. So,
yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment. All right, so first race here, we're still waiting for the horses to get involved with the gate. I don't know that we have enough time to go to race number 2, Terry, because they are kind of just, I think they're walking towards the gate. I don't understand why, Florida Gulfstream Park always does that. But let's go ahead and take a look at our race shape one more time. And I don't have a sense of where they are relative to the gate either, right?
No.
Because they're just showing, I think, the 1 horse right now.
Okay.
Whose tail is at 45 degrees. And I read some stuff about body language. Okay, so the one's about the load. So good, we're about to get going. But I was reading some language about body language, and it said that the one body language thing where they found it to have an above average winning percentage was when the tail, when they're walking to the gate, is at 45 degrees. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure there's a lot of other folks out there that watch horses right now that are saying this dude is out of his mind. But the one is 45 to 1. His tail's at 45-degree angle. It's a little too much numerology in that for me, Terry.
Yeah. Well, he just took a dump.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why his tail was at 45 degrees.
I
right?
think it was, yeah.
I suppose if I had a tail at 45 degrees, I would do that too. Armando Garcia, how you doing, Armando? Thank you for joining us this day.
But it's Terry, not Charles.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, you are the more handsome version, right? Fossey right there. And then we got over here. What races? It's the first race, Armando, at Gulfstream Park in Miami. And we appreciate it. We can use luck, a little bit of skill, and hopefully a little bit of, any photo goes our way. That's always fun too. All right, we got a few more horses to load. We'll tell you what we see in race number 1, and then we'll continue our way through this 10-race card in what looks like maybe a little cool Miami today, because a lot of folks are wearing windbreaker jackets.
Yeah, probably is cool.
Well, whatever it is down there, it's a lot warmer than it is up here in Chicago.
Yeah,
Maybe not though. It's supposed to be in the 50s today up here. A little rainy.
yeah, we're in the 50s. So
I think we're waiting on the 6-horse. Then we can get going. Right now, the 9-horse Terry's Barry the Builder is your favorite. Just at a pretty lukewarm. Well, no, he's been getting bet down pretty hard. 3-2.
3-2.
Yeah, 7-horse. Yeah, is next.
3-1. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that once the 10 gets in, folks, we'll be ready to get going with that first race down there at Gulfstream Park. That is 5 minutes after post time. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's that, the sunny, warm air. Everybody's a little bit lazier. And there are sounds of Pete Aiello in my ear. Great guy, by the way. If you have a chance to go down there, say hello to Pete. 2-horse, Tizaduke. If the 1-horse had taken the lead with Tizaduke, I would have been on the ground rolling. 4-horse, Carstown is in second place. As they're going to go through the opening quarter in about 23.1 seconds. So I think they're going a little too fast. Terry should open up the door for the second pack of horses, which includes all the middle horses, the 5, the 6, the 7, and the 8, the 9, and the 11. 2 continues to hold the lead to Zaduke with the 4-horse, Carstown in second. The 3-horse, Mr. Brizzle, right there in great stalking position. Opening half in 46 and 82. Either the clock's wrong, Terry, or they're running a little bit on the fast side. They come down the back stretch and they head into the turn. Really not a whole lot of change in the order right there. The 4-horse now is moving alongside the 2-horse to give that horse a little bit of competition. The 3-horse has moved the most wide. He's trying to make a move up in there as he comes around the corner. Right now, the 4-horse looks like it's the one to beat, Terry, but I do think they ran a little bit too fast. 110 and 53. I would be surprised if that horse holds on, Terry, to be honest with you, because that was pretty brisk opening fractions. The 3 horses moved alongside. Right now, the 7 and the 11 are trying to chase down the 3. I think they're going to get there. It looks to me like the 7-horse, Terry. No, the 11. 11-7-3-9. 11-7-3-9. Harry, screwing us all up, Terry.
It sure did. So
otherwise, we had everybody else in there.
Yep. It's 16-1 on that 11-horse.
So let's go back and look at the 11 real quick and see, my friend, what did we miss on the 11? Well, he got the maybe in here, Terry. So I thought he had a chance.
Yeah.
Been off for a while, right? Trainer workouts are actually pretty awful. I mean, they probably just walked on that one. This one's pretty good. This one is pretty bad too. I don't know. There's really not much in there, Terry, other than the trainer is doing pretty good to really pick that horse out. Though he did show some speed here in his second career start. That's just a case of horse beating you. That's in my opinion.
That's it. That's. I thought it was a pretty wide open race, but I don't know. The 11, I didn't have the 11. I don't even know if I had it as an alternate. So.
Yeah, I don't know that. Let's see, where did I have it rated? No, I didn't even have it rated. Just the horse beating you. All right, Terry, let's see if we can find the one that'll win race number 2.
Okay, so let's go to race 2 and see what we have there. It's a 5 furlong on the all-weather track, and it's for, let's see here, it's for fillies 2 years old, which have not started for a claiming price of $35,000 or less, and which have never won a race other than a maiden or claiming price of $35,000.
At 5.5 furlongs, Mr. Terry, what you're looking for is early speed. 35% of the time, the horse that gets to the lead goes gate to the wire. Post positions 1 through 7, they play fair. 8 and out, a little bit of a small penalty. So in race number 2, a little bit of speed on the inside. That could be the difference maker, and it looks like all of the speed is on the inside.
Yeah, all of them show some speed, especially those inside horses, all but the 5 and 7. And then the 5 has an overlay of from 4-1 to 6-1. The 7 has an overlay from almost 5-1 to 6-1. As far as par numbers, there's no par numbers at all in there. And all but the 3 show pretty decent C-zone numbers.
Yeah, I should be pretty comfortable with this setup, Terry. As far as the race shape is concerned, yeah, pretty balanced. You have a Sesame Street horse in here, the lone PC type and Heaven in Mind. So keep that one in mind because a lot of times these horses get really ideal trips. The 4 and 6 want to be on the front. Any chance that they'll be there? Does look like the 2 horse, the Pressure Horse, might take that honor. But you have 4 that are really within a point of one another. So whichever one gets the quickest step out of the gate, likely to be your leader. As far as the trip home, we did see a closer right there do pretty well. That was on the turf. This is a sprint, but if the closers do get the job done, Miguel's, Bell, Kozum should be right there as well. Kozum should be a part of the early speed too. That probably makes that one the top total pace horse in there. Indeed, it does. 4 points clear, so about 3/4 of a length of Miguel's, Bell in terms of that. Terry, I want to look real quick at race number 1 and see where that 11 popped in there. He was all the way at the bottom again. Yeah, really tough to find that 11 under any circumstances. What did you find for race number 2?
I like Kozin, the 6. She won her last race at Gulfstream Park and has a bullet workout on November 29th. The 4 is my second pick. She finished 3rd versus similar in her last race and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Miguel's Bell, the number 1, is my 3rd pick. She won her last race at Gulfstream Park and has a high percentage winning trainer and switches a high percentage winning jockey. The 5 is my long shot, Heaven in Mind. She has a high percentage winning jockey and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 4-6 with the 3-5-7. I'm going to single the 5 in the 4th race and use the 1-8.
So when you bet a small amount like that, Terry, is that because of the confidence in that race or just lack of confidence?
Lack of confidence. I just I don't feel like there's anything that really stands out except for maybe that 5.
Mm-hmm. I like the 4. I don't even know what the hell that says. Anna Julia Forever. Okay, now I know what that says. Must be someone who's completely in love there. Top last race speed figure last time out, and that was the first time the horse did make a trip around that all-weather track. And in both races after its debut, the horse did improve. Number 7, Special Affair. It's taking a pretty good size drop in class here, Terry. Last time out, that horse had a bad break at the start. If you look at any of the other 2, because 3 of its 4 races were on all weather, the first 2 probably would be good enough to win here. Kozum went wire to wire in the maiden claiming $12,500 work, wire to wire. Does have a 3 furlong bullet workout since that, so the trainer is going to send that horse again, and they're going to try to go wire to wire. Heaven in Mind, the 5 horse, something we should all have, right? Heaven in Mind. His 3rd start after a layoff, running better fractions last time out. And the horse has one other 3-race cycle, and the 3rd was the best of the bunch. Trifecta 4, 6, 7, or the 4, 7 over the 1, the 5, the 6, and the 7 for me in race number 2. On to 3 we go, Terry. By Stocks likes the daily double here in race number 2. He has the 3. Just take notes. The 5, Heaven in Mind. Next time up, race number 3, the 6 and the 7. All right, Terry, let's move on to race number 3 ourselves.
All right, it's a 1-mile race. It's maiden $70,000, a purse $70,000 for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
Yeah, pretty basic stuff there.
Yep.
On that dirt course down at Gulfstream Park, speed really tends to hold the form. See, this is a 1-turn mile. So 1-turn miles, again, tend to favor or act more like sprints than they do routes. The par is about a speed figure of 88. At 1 mile, we're looking for early speed. Post positions are mostly fair 1 through 7. You do get a little bit of a bonus on the outside, Terry, if you were 8 and out. Race number 3, there is no 8 or out, and there is one that looks particularly quick.
Yeah, the 5 has the most speed along with the 1 and then the 2 to follow it up. And the 2 has an overlay of from 8 to 1 to 21, which is pretty nice. The 3 has an overlay of about 6 to 5 to 5 to 2, and the 5 has a small overlay from about, just almost even though. And then the par numbers, the 3 and the 5 are the only par numbers in here. The 2, 5, 6, and 7 show the best par numbers or C-zone numbers.
Yeah, the one that checks the most boxes in here, this Aquarius Moon, the 5. A little bit of an overlay. Does have a good chance to score not a great chance, but some chance on the lead and a decent C-zone relative to everybody else. In the 3rd race, the 2 horse making its first start, Expert Witness. Don't know what it's going to bring. Malibu Springs. so far hasn't been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line. Maybe you can X that one off. I don't know. Otherwise, the 6 horse looks like it could be Lone Speed here, Terry, if it can get out to the front. Everybody wants that Lone Speed, Terry, and 6 horse will definitely be the one, or could be the one out on the front, although 5 will give it a challenge. Everybody else looks a little bit slower, so those 2 can get to the front where they want to be. Could get the race they're looking for. Late Speed, Moari, the 7 horse, the closer, will be there, although everybody's pretty tightly packed there. Probably too far off the pace to take advantage of that. We'll find out. And then finally, your top total pace horses. Again, a pretty competitive race. Maybe the 7 horse overmatched here. I don't know, Terry. I think I made it my first pick, so I'm trying to equivocate. But what do you have?
All right, I like that 3 Game Warden. Ran third in his last race, has the highest last speed rating. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starter. He has his trainer jockey combination the last 14 days have been in the money 13 out of 20 starts. 5 wins, 7 seconds, and a third. Aquarius Moon, the 5 is my second choice. Ran second versus similar in his last race. Has a good furlong workout on November 25th. Then I like the 7 Maori. He can improve while returning to dirt and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Malibu Springs is the 1 horse, which is my long shot. Drops in class today. Early speed running style helps his chances. He could improve at the shorter distance because of that. No bet in this race for me.
So I picked the bad ugly horse there, Moari, the one that just totally scored last on everything, as my top choice. And the reason was, last time out, the horse got 2 races in him, right? First time out, he ran on the dirt, Gulfstream at a mile, and he ran a strong enough race that he would be more than competitive here. Then they tried him on the all-weather. Yeah, the horse might not have liked that. I mean, some horses don't like that surface switch. So I think if he can build it all on that debut on dirt at the mile, would be more than good enough to win here. The 3 horse Game Warden did run the top last race. Speed Figure has a bullet workout since that last race. The only question for me is when this horse comes off the bench, maybe he needs a race before he finds the well-oiled machine. Aquarius Moon, this one's also been sidelined for a little bit, off since October. The workouts at Tampa Bay are really good. The question is, will they translate to Gulfstream Park? Then finally, Malibu Springs does have that early speed, Terry, does tend to fade, but does have 3 decent workouts, maybe building on that stamina, and going to drop in class. Trifecta, 3-5-7 with the 3-7, the 1, 3, 5, 6, and 7. Race number 4.
All right. This is a 1.16 miles. Again, it's on the all-weather track. It's a claiming race of $10,000 claiming price, purse $26,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
And at 1.16 miles on the all-weather track, you're looking for stalkers. 18% of the time they go wire to wire. A little bit of a rail discount for social engagement. You got a small discount for posts 2 and 3. 4 and out, they play just a little bit better than par. So really no deal killers or breakers in race number 4. As far as our early speed, Terry, is concerned, again, we find one that looks faster than the rest.
That's right. That 3 has the most speed, but 5 and 8 also have some speed. The 3 shows a nice overlay from about 7.5 to 1 to 20 to 1. 4 has an overlay of from 13 to 1 to 30 to 1. And then the 8 has an overlay from small, or that's not too small. It's about
it's pretty big.
4 to 5 to 6 to 1. Par numbers 8, 6, 7, and 3 show par numbers, and the 1, 6, 8, and 7 are the ones that show C-zone numbers, and they're pretty good C-zone numbers too.
Yeah, Dancing with a Daffodil, big overlay, good chance to be par plus, nice stalking position, and then the second or third best C-zone. That horse, just off of those numbers, is worth some consideration. Let's see if he gets any further consideration here. Well, the 1 horse Social Engagement, Terry, that's your loney. Everybody else wants to be middle back. I don't know that the one's going to get to the lead. It looks like Winning at Ease, Runway Breeze showing the most recent speed. So that 3 horse moving up there, I don't know, because a lot of times the pressure horses don't want to be on the lead. Money Factor does have the most late speed, along with Katie's Dream Girl. Those 2 are considerably quicker than everybody else down the stretch, but they're going to be kind of maybe 3, 4. Go ahead.
Those numbers look a little mixed up there. Have Have you already clicked on the
late pace.
no? You're in the late pace by now. Okay,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
So now we're going to do the total pace. The total pace,
Yeah.
Terry, is Money Factor. Again, pretty competitive race, except for maybe the 5 and the 2. Everybody else is probably pretty kind of close there. I think a pretty competitive race, Terry, but you think one stands out above all the rest as one of your best bets of the day, I guess.
Yeah, I like the 5. She finished third versus Tougher in her last race and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 6, Runaway Breeze, second choice. She finished in the money in 7 out of her last 10 races, winning 3 of those races, and switches a high percentage winning trainer. Katie's Dream Girl, the 7 is my third pick, ran second versus Similar in her last race, and her best all-weather track speed is fast among today's starters. Number 8, Dancing with the Daffodils, is my long shot. Finished third versus Similar in her last race and has the highest speed figure at today's distance. I'm going to bet $10 to win on the 5.
I'm going to start off with the 6 horse, Runaway Breeze. Going to make the first start off the claim for trainer Bobby DiBona. Has 2 really nice workouts since then. The horse is a very consistent performer. You're going to get a great effort from this one. The other ones will have to beat it in an open race. Social engagement, the 1 horse, once again, Pico, the horse is at the bottom. This horse was really improved through the first half mile last time out and going to drop in class. That combination I find a lot wins. Current situation, the top last race speed figure, good chance to be better in the second start after a layoff. And trainer Carlos David, taking this horse to the track for the second time after it switched barns, wins at 30% on that angle. That's the alpha angle for sure. Dancing with Daffodils, third start after layoff, checks off all of those boxes we talked about there, Terry. Held its speed longer last time out and ran a Z pattern. Early pace here, a little bit of a dip off in the middle, and then second wind down the stretch. Trifecta 156 with the 1-6, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. Get to the middle of the card here, Terry, in race number 5.
All right. And this is a 6 furlong race. It's a maiden claiming race with a $12,500 claiming price. It's $22,000 purse, and it's maidens for fillies, 2-year-olds.
2-year-old fillies and the maidens. Looking at a 6 furlong dirt race, Charles Terry, I'm all confused. Early speed, again, on the dirt at Gulfstream Park, speed does dominate. 35% of the time it goes wire to wire. A little bit of a rail bonus for Cozy Colby, who will be fighting next weekend. Not that Colby, but a different one. That's for the favorite right there, Terry. 2 and 3 get a small bonus. 4 through 7 under par. 8 and out, a little bit of a bonus. So it looks like 4 through 7 is about the only place it's difficult to win or more difficult to win from in the 5th race. Terry, boy, that 1 horse looks like it's going to be the one that they have to pass.
It sure does. It has the most speed unless it has trouble getting out of the gate. It should get that quarter pole first. The 6 and the 4 may have a little to say about that. The 1 has a nice overlay from about 4 to 5 to, well, that's less.
No, that's like a 1 to 9.
1 to 9, yeah.
Yeah.
To 6 to 5 or 7 to 5. And it's got the only par number. And then the 2, 8, and 7 have the best C-zone numbers.
Yeah, that one looks like on paper like it should win by like 10 lengths. See if we see the same story over here. Well, the 9 horse Lunetta Jack, don't know what that one's going to bring. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 so far in their careers have not been within 5 lengths of the leader. So you got the 1, the 4, and the 8. All right. So now we can see why that one might be 1 to 9. Cozy Colby does have the most early speed, although this 6 horse here probably keep him company when the gates open. Late speed wise, boy, none of these horses showing any time like big numbers. But Cozy Colby also has the top late speed number. Nouveau Rich. Hey, I got to take that one just on the name, Terry.
Yep.
And then finally, the total pace of 12 points for Cozy Colby, Terry. The other day we had a 10-pointer. It won pretty easily. We got a 10-point buck here too, Terry. Anybody beating it?
It's going to be hard. I like it. I like that horse as my top pick. She finished 6th in the last race, but she had a lot of trouble as a favorite. But it has a trainer who wins 23% of those races when bringing this big favorites back again, drops a class today, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then that 8 horse, the one you kind of like, she ran second versus Similar in her last race and has a high percentage winning trainer and switches a high percentage winning jockey. Mochi Girl. The 5 is my third pick. She ran second versus similar in the last race. And then 6 is my long shot. Dream Diamond ran second versus similar in her last race. No bet for me in this race.
The one horse, Terry. I want to beat these ones, but the top total pace by 12 points. A lot of these horses are going to have to do something they haven't done so far. Real strong chance to be on the lead. Really strong par plus score. Going to probably improve in its second start after layoff. Nouveau Richie, if anybody beats it, it's all in the name right there, Terry. Chris P. Angle, meaning that horse, finished Chris Parmalu, our good friend, finished second last time out. It means it only has to beat one horse to break its maiden today. Better 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers. Same improvement in race number 3 compared to race number 2, as the improvement from race 2 to race 1 would probably get the job done, Terry. Lunetta Jack, first time starter. And, honestly, outside of the 1, perhaps the 8, there's really nothing to beat in here. Mama has 3 babies, Terry. And guess what? They all did.
They all won?
They all won. Maybe not on the first start, but they've all proven they can go score. Moochie Girl, maybe the horse in here with the most upside with only 2 races, made big gains in her second start, and another move forward here could challenge that 1-9 status on that one horse there, Terry.
All right.
Let's see if we can find something a little better price for race number 6.
All right. Let's see here for race 6. It's 1 mile and 70 yards again. And it's, let's see, it's a claiming race of $16,000, $34,000 purse for 2-year-olds, which have not started for a claiming price of $16,000 or less, and which have never won a race other than maiden or claiming price of $16,000.
Yeah, and 1 mile and 70 yard all-weather winner. Stalkers do pretty good, Terry. Only 13% of the time do they go wire to wire. So being on the front, about average winning. Mostly fair from the post positions with a very small inside to outside bias. So maybe Severance catches a little bit of an edge there, Terry, but not a whole lot. In race number 6, looking at the early speed, Terry, once again, there's one horse that looks like it's going to get way out in front, and everybody will need to reel that one in.
That's right. That's that 5. But you got to remember they've only had 1 or 2 races at the most, all these horses.
Mm-hmm.
But the 1 also has a nice overlay of 2-1 versus 8-1, and that 5 is supposed to be around 4-5 to 2-1. None of them show any par numbers at this point in their race career. And the 6, 7, 4, and 1 have C zones, and they're pretty decent C zone numbers.
Yeah, that 6 horse Magic Shadow. I mean, again, limited experience, limited data. But on what we have, says it should be the most comfortable with the setup here. Pretty balanced. You have a couple that want to be on the front, so by themselves, 2 that want to kind of pressure, 2 in the back. So everybody should kind of be where they want to be here, Terry. The early speed does indeed belong to the 5 horse. Tap it 3 times. Should be your pace setter, Terry. That's about a length and maybe a tail ahead of everybody else. On the way home, the horse with the most late speed is the 1 horse, Severance, which is also going to be in a stalking position. So maybe a little bit of left arrow action out of that guy there. Top total pace horse is indeed that 1 horse and the 5 horse. They're 12 points and 13 points clear of the rest of the field, notwithstanding the 4 who invades from another country. Gary, it looks like you can go with the 1-5, maybe a little bit of a surprise from the 4 for your exactas and trifectas. What do you think?
Yeah, this is pretty wide open, I think. So I went the 5 as my top pick, tapped it 3 times. Won his debut race at Gulfstream Park and received the highest last race speed rating and his best start speed as fast as Monk Today's starters. And then I like Magic Show or Magic Shadow. I'm sorry. It's a 6 horse second pick, comes from Ireland after winning his first career race, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer, kind of a mystery horse. Don't know how it's going to do here, but anyway, like it. Number 3 is my third pick. Won his last race at Belterra Park, has a high percentage win trainer, wins 33% of the races when taking a horse from the turf to the all-weather track, switches a high percentage winning jockey, has a good workout.
I don't mean to interrupt, Terry, but I think the 4 horse is the one that comes in from Ireland.
You're right. I've got the wrong number there.
So you meant that to be the 4?
Yes.
All right. So we'll go ahead and make that change.
Okay. And then anyway, and then the 7 is my long shot, 10th Mountain. He won his debut race at Gulfstream Park and it has a trainer who wins 17% of the races in the next race after the horse has won its maiden race. I'm going to play a $20 win on the 5, which is actually my best bet of the day. And then I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 5. I'm going to use the 5 with the 11, with the 3, 6, 7, with the 1, 5, 6, 7, with the 2, 4, 6, 7.
I am going to start off with the 5 horse here, Mr. Terry, just like you. Tap it 3 times. Top last race speed figure, and if it has any improvement off of its debut, would be really, I think, hard to beat that one. Seagull, the 4 horse, that's the one that had a really nice win out in Ireland last time and ships overseas, some steady and really good works since arriving on this side of the Atlantic Ocean. Although that the track that I run in Ireland is kind of a mid-tier track, would have liked to seen one of the top tier tracks. Severance, the 1 horse, it's another that just needs to improve any off of its debut to challenge for the W here. And then 10th Mountain, the 7th horse, picking 4th spot for both of us, had a really weird start in its debut, but still ran by everybody. And 4 good workouts since then. I kind of wanted to move that one up a little bit higher in my picks, to be honest with you. That was my intuition. 1, 4, 5 over the 4, 5 with the 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7. And they're strolling around behind the gates again.
Yeah.
At the Gulfstream Park. I have no idea how long it's going to be till the next race. I mean, we could, I suppose, try to get the next race done, Terry, or
what do you want to do? We can try whatever.
Hold on one second. Let's see what we have here. Obtruse Allen, 4 is your likely favorite in this race. You think so? The guy coming over from Ireland. What do you know about that guy, Obtruse? I mean, have you the track over there that it ran at? Because Tom and I do those Foreign Fridays. Ferry House is not one that comes up very often. You know, we look at usually the races like at the Curra or a couple of other tracks that don't come to mind right now. They tend to be. It did run on yielding turf. A lot of times the turf does translate to the all-weather track over here. And then it doesn't look like it was running in a maiden race. It was running in a straight claiming race right off the get-go. So that's a pretty good sign there. A lot of decent works, as I mentioned, on the way over here. So the horse might be a little bit better than one might expect in terms of, maybe not enough information to really make a good assessment. Other than the other thing here, too, is that trainer really doesn't do that well coming off of a break. So the horse hopefully is a really good horse.
Yeah, that's why I call it a mystery horse, because you're really not sure how it's going to run. So
let's see. Are they getting any closer to the gates? Okay, they are lining up in the gates. Again, tonight, Evangeline Downs is the free track, but a lot of good tracks running today, folks. Use the link in the description down there below. Turfway Park running tonight. Penn National running tonight. Gulfstream Park running right now. All right, Terry, let's see. Race number 2 is off and running on the all-weather track. As they come out of the gate, it looks to me like the 5 horse, Heaven in Mind, has the one that's gone to the lead, something that we didn't expect there, Terry. So Heaven in Mind on its way around the track. To the outside is the 4 horse. That is Anna Julia Forever. And that is your favorite at 3 to 5. Down on the rail, Mr. Terry, is the 1 horse, Miguel's Bell. As they go through the turn, it does look like the 4 horse is ranging up. Going to get some competition, it looks like, from perhaps the 2 horse. But the 4 horse, the big favorite, has really fighting with that 5 horse. 5 don't want to give it up, Terry. The 7 on the rail is making a pretty aggressive move. It looks like the 1 horse is really going to challenge here at the end, Terry. I don't know if he's going to challenge enough to get to the 4 at the wire. And it's going to go 4-1-7-6, Terry. 4-1-7-6. So you are alive with your pick 4. Unfortunately, I needed the 1 to finish 3rd and the 7 to finish 2nd. That did not happen.
Sorry.
It happens, right? It's horse racing.
It does.
That's why I kind of stayed away from this. The 7 kind of got trapped a little bit behind the 5.
Yeah.
And if he had a chance to perhaps maybe get out a little bit earlier, maybe. But the 1 was clearly the better horse up until that point. And the 6 might have actually beat the 7 at the wire because the jockey, whoever else on the 7,
probably
going to hear. Probably going to hear from the trainer right there, right?
Yeah, the 6 ran third, so
Yeah, because it looked like the jockey stood up on the 7 before the line.
did.
Yeah, so I think the trainer is going to probably have some kind words for him when they get to the when they get together again.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about race number 7, Terry. I think that's what we're doing next, right?
It is. So race
7, Terry. What's cooking?
It's another turf race on 5 furlongs, though. It's a maiden $70,000 maiden price, 70,000 purse. It's for maidens 2-year-olds.
So anything can happen, race, Terry. Too many first-time starters in here, if I recall, to do any of our analytical work. But we do know that so far, early speed does win. 35% of the time, it wins wire to wire at 5 furlongs on the Miami grass. Small rail discount for Bourbon Boss. The best place to be so far has been post 2 or 3. 4 through 7 play fair. Anything 8 and out, Terry, gets a pretty good penalty. But I got a feeling that both of us in our picks are probably going to be Buffalo Girl on the outside.
Yeah. Well, I like the Sweetheart or Silent Heart, which is the 11. She ran second versus Tupper on the dirt in last race, drops class today, and has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 17% of the time when taking a horse from dirt to turf. Switches to high percentage winning jockey. The 7 is my second choice. Finished third versus Summer on the dirt in his last race. His breeding suggests he will like the grass, as the dam has 6 winners from 8 starters and 1 turf winner, and he has a really nice bullet workout on November 30th. Crass the Gate is my third pick. The 3 drops in class today, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. The 10 is my long shot. Ran second versus Tupper on the dirt in his last race, but drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 23% of the races when shipping a horse in to run. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 11 as a single. Then I'm going to use the 3, 4, 6, 7 with the 1, 5, 6, 7 with the 2, 4, 6, 7.
2 with the 11 horse Silent Heart, Terry. Yeah, way on the outside. That kind of hurts a little bit, but it did run the top last race, speed figure by 7 points clear of the next closest competitor. I mean, the rest have to come up or that one has to come down. Should be better in its second race after a layoff. If he is, the job gets done here. The post does hurt. That 10 horse Murazara, this one's been off since late October. Really sharp workout on November the 3rd, indicating this horse is ready to go to work. Just needs to improve a touch off that last race. B+. I would have been happy with those grades in high school, B+. First timer with some really good workouts for trainer Rohan Crichton. Does win at 13%, which is above average with first-time starters. Then finally, the 7. I'm going to go with Kaku Abario. This one's absolutely going to try for the lead, Terry. 3 furlong workout since its last race. Once again, I think you can count on the trainer sending the 7 horse, who I will not try to pronounce again. My pick 4, Terry, which gobbles up most of my budget today, I feel like the 10 or the 11 is going to win. 3, 6, 7, 8, 1, 5, 7, and then 2, 3, 6, and 7 on the back end. Hopefully I can get that first leg right and then have a little bit of depth as we go through. And we'll go through to race number 8 now.
Yep, and it's a mile and 16th on the all-weather again. $35,000 claiming race, $36,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races.
And then race number 7, to rewind a little bit, Christopher D'Souza, our good friend there. He's digging on that 7 horse in race number 7. Excuse me, the 9 horse with the 3-7 in the exacta and the trifecta box. So write that down on your scratch paper. Christopher's usually right on top of things. In the mile and a 16th on that all-weather track, Terry, the sort of horse that usually wins is a stalker, although Peyton Manning, 18% of the time, they go wire to wire. A little bit of a rail discount for the media sensation, although its form is probably a bigger discount than the post position. Small discount for posts number 2 and 3. If you wear the yellow 4 or higher, you get a little bit of a bonus, but not a lot, Terry. In race number 8, stalkers could do well. They're all going to have to chase 1. Again.
That's right. The 5 shows the most speed, followed up by the 7 and the 8. The 3 has an overlay of from almost 2-1 to 5-2, and that's about the only overlay that I see.
Mhm.
And then we've got par numbers. The 6, 3, and 8 show some par numbers. And then
Mhm.
all of them have pretty decent C-zone numbers except for the 3 and the 7 or 6.
So yeah, looking at this race here, I just when we handicapped it, it felt to me like it was a pretty competitive race in there. If you look at this, it's pretty slanted towards the back end. So I mean, if the 5 horse opposite a track could get the lead, it would be pretty dangerous as a lone E type. It's where it has the most confidence, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case for that guy. A lot of these are in tight, so maybe if the 8 horse Truce and Honesty stumbles a little bit, or any of these others, the 5 would have a chance. I think they're probably going to try to jump it out there. We'll see if indeed that's the case. Late speed wise, Sig Run Fast Boy, 5-point lead over everybody else. Not going to be all that far off the pack here, Terry. So we'll be in the mix. And then finally, your total late speed combination: Sig Run Fast Boy, Classic Motown. Again, though, if you just look at it, all of them except the 5 horse within 10 points. A step, a block, a bad trip could be the difference between winning and finishing dead last. Terry, pretty competitive race, yet we agree on who's going to win.
Yeah, I think that Classic Motown, the 3, is going to win this. Ran second versus similar in his last race. Has a highest last speed rating, and he's actually tied with another horse. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey in Bull Tight. The 7 is my second pick. Drops in class today. Has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 23% of the claiming races that he has a horse in, and has a high percentage winning jockey who in the last 7 days been in the money 16 out of 27 starts with 7 wins, 7 seconds, and 2/3. Sigrun Fast Boy, the 6 is my third pick. Drops in class, has the highest last speed rating. He's actually tied with the 3, and has best all-weather speed, all-weather track speed, is fastest among today's starters. King Silvio is my long shot to 4. He finished third in his last race, has a bullet workout on November 24th. No bet for me, as I'm completely out of money.
Yes, I'm all out of money, and I hope as well. I'm going to go with Classic Motown. That is some wonderful music, and it's a wonderful music when Safi Joseph Jr. and Edgar Zayas get together. Jockey trainer combination hitting at 32%. This horse has run 7 times, had a chance to win all of them except perhaps 1. Sig Run Fast Boy, really consistent performer in this mix, Terry, potentially the most back class and running at the lowest level of its career. Really strongest par plus on top. Truth and Honesty. We talked a little bit about that, if it works to your favor or not, a little bit earlier in the show. Did show some more early speed last time out in terms of getting more forward relative to the rest of the pack, but bumped up its late pace number as well. So that one can break sharply early on and add to its late speed. Could be tough to beat. And then Boyd, perhaps significant class drop here. It's going to make that first run on all weather, which is a question mark, a big question mark, Jerry, like the one on the Joker's chest. Turf says, or was it with the Riddler? The Riddler. Who had it? The Riddler had the question mark, right?
Yes.
Yes. The Turf record, though, says that he should be able to answer the bell there. No bets for me either, Terry. 2 races to go. Race number 9, the opener of the late daily double. What do we got going on here?
All right, we've got a 6.5 furlong race. It's an optional claiming race, $75,000 claiming price if you put it in there for that. Purse $71,000 for fillies and 2-year-olds, and which have never won a race other than maiden claiming, starter, or restricted, or which have never won 2 races, or claiming price is $75,000.
Yes, and absolutely none of them are available for sale. So even with Terry's deep pockets, we couldn't buy one of these today if we wanted to, unless we made a deal with the owners, right?
Yep.
At 6.5 furlongs, profile of a winner, Terry. Early speed, 28% of the time, wire to wire. Very small inside to outside bias. If you add some early speed and you run on the inside, you got a chance. But really, based upon our numbers, every one of them has a chance perhaps to set the tone, except for the 4.
Yeah, the 3, it looks like, the 3 to me, the 1, I'm sorry, the 3, and the 1 have speed in here, all of them, as you said. And then the 1 shows overlay of almost even money to 6-1. The 7 has an overlay of about 5-2 to 9-2. As far as the par numbers go, the 1, 5, 7, and 6 show the best par numbers. All of them have pretty decent C zones except for that 3.
Yeah, and a lot of these horses really only 1 or 2 starts. So again, a little bit of data, a little bit of reliability. All of the race shape, boy, I mean, just looking at this, the 4-horse standing back here as your lone closer, you would need all these others to go out there. You got the Sesame Street horse too, and Sweet Hazley. That one could do pretty well as your lone EP type. Quimichis, whatever. It could be your pace setter. That's what we saw on the simulations. Again, though, if you look at them, they're all pretty tightly mixed in there. They'll get out and they'll be hot early on in this 6.5 furlong race, Terry. As far as your late speed is concerned, Fiona's Magic, the Shrek wife to be, or I think they're a wife now, a couple by now, along with the 1 and the 7, those 3 should be the ones coming the hardest at the end. And got to like the fact that the EP horse is in that mix along with the early type speed. Our top total pace horse is the lone EP horse, Terry, Sweet Hazley. According to that, Terry, should be the 1, the 5, or the 7 that wins here. Which one did you put on top?
Well, I went to the 6, Bourbon Breeze. She finished 4th after being bumped and having her heels clipped in that last race. Drops in class today and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. 5 is my second pick. She won her last race at Gulfstream Park. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. The 1, Sweet Hazley, she won her last race at Gulfstream, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Number 7 is my long shot, Lincoln Park. She won her debut race at Gulfstream Park and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. No money from me, so I can't bet.
Sweet Hazley, Terry, the 1 horse. Last time out, Terry. That was last time out, but just absolutely smoked the competition in its debut and did that after running into the rail. How often do you see that, Terry? Hit the rail and still smoke the competition.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then since then, the horse has got some really fast workouts. I think that one's going to get to the lead and just challenge all the way around the track. Fiona's Magic, the 5 horse, did run that top last race speed figure by 5 points again. Andrew Beyer, 3 points or better than the next closest horse. Circle that one and put it in your picks. 1 by 7 lengths, but that horse was off for 4 months, Terry, and had a huge jump in its speed figure. May or may not, but I think it's a big candidate for regression here. If not, could win. Lincoln Park crushed her competition in the debut too, Terry. 18 furlongs of workout since then. That horse should have more stamina and really good reason to think that one will be better in its second career start. A lot of times horses make their biggest improvement from race 1 to race 2. Bourbon Breeze, probably going to be one of the favorites in here, Terry. Irad Ortiz on there. If he has the lead, Irad will knock you out of the way and keep that lead. Likely to be the favorite, but I think is really beatable in here, Terry. Much like you, I've spent all of my allotment. I really haven't spent all my allotment for the day, but maybe in the next race, I'll put one together on the fly, so to speak, which is the last race of the day, Terry. It is race number 10. What do we have here?
It's the last race is on the turf. It's a mile race. It's maiden claiming $40,000, purse $50,000. It's for maidens, 3-year-olds and upwards that are Florida bred, or maiden claiming price of $40,000.
40,000, yeah. Mile on the turf. This made an optional claiming affair. You're looking for horses that stalk. How about Michael Jordan? 23% of the time they go by. There can be no other 23 than Jordan, right? Mm-mm. The post positions are mostly fair. Those 4 through 7 are the best. They get a little bit of a bonus, Terry. So we're looking for stalkers in the last race of the day. And it looks like plenty of them will have an opportunity to be in the right space based upon early speed projections.
Yeah, they all show pretty much speed. The 7 with the most, followed by the 10. The 1 has a overlay of really nice overlay from about 4 to 5 to 20 to 1. The 2 has a small overlay, but not too small. It's it's 9 to 1 to 10 to 1. And then the 3 shows an overlay of about almost 4 to 1 to 6 to 1. The only par number here is the 1, and then all of them, but the 2 and 3 have good C-zone numbers.
All right, I think I have $10, $12 left if I remember
Yeah,
correctly, Terry.
yeah,
Right?
I think
All right,
so.
so
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a bet in here on that one as we go along. All right, our total pace scenario looks up like look at this 6-horse, Terry. Lone, E-type. So they get to the front. Look out for Cumberland. Is he going to get to the front? Yeah, the answer is probably no. In fact, he might be in the back. All right, well, that works out well for him. Flat top box. That guy might be on the front. Pressure type horse. He's got about 3/4 of a length lead over everybody, so it's likely to be your pace setter. Your late speed belongs to Blind Eye, though with this group might not be all that far off the pace there. Don't answer that one horse. Boy, that big long shot overlay. Look out for that one, Terry. As far as your early speed, late speed combination, actually grades out 5 points better than everybody else. Big overlay, 5-pointer, which means it should win by a length in there, Terry, as a closer. Woof. I don't know, Terry. Neither one of us have the one. What do you got?
I've got the 6, Cumberland. It's my top pick. Drops in class today. His best start speed is fast among today's starters. 7, flat top box. He drops in class today, switches to high percentage winning jockey, has a high percentage winning trainer. And then the 2, Blind Eye, my third pick, finished in the money in his last 5 races, finishing third in his last race. And he has a bullet workout on November 30th. Number 4 is my long shot. He's a lucky guy. He finished second in 2 of his 3 career races, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Again, I have no money, so no bet for me.
So what I did, Terry, is I just put the 7-horse in the finish in the winner circles. I took them out after doing that again and some reconsideration because the 1 was my next pick anyway. So I just went ahead and flopped out the 1 and the 7. I don't really like the 7 at all. I do like Blind Eye. The late pace can be off the charts. Does have a bullet workout since then. And this could be the right distance, Terry. 6 races, 2 seconds, and 3/3. So maybe just going to fill in that O today. Cumberland, the 6-horse, if he can run back to his first 2 races, both of which were on Gulfstream Park grass, I think he would be really hard to beat. I agree with you. Number 3, for the Chief, going to be trucking late, Terry, for sure. Good 50-50 chance that the horse will improve in its second start after a layoff. And I think this is one that really can benefit from a cutback in distance. I was going to put flat top box in there, the 7. It is taking a big drop in class. Irad's going to ride this one, but the on-track performance, nothing so far. Those were the only 2 reasons. So I got a lot more reasons to like the 1 in here with that big overlay, par plus score, 5-point total pace advantage over everybody else, going to be a much bigger price. I had $12. I'm going to spend the $12, 50-cent trifecta box. 1, 2, 3, 6, all of which are pretty long shots. If that one comes home, Terry, we're going to get paid nice to go home.
All
Race
right.
number 10. Hey, Christopher D'Souza just confirms my thinking. He's got the 1-horse too with the 2-3 exacta box, trifecta box. He too looking to cash out big in the final race at Gulfstream Park today, Terry.
All right.
We're off tomorrow. You and I will be back Monday, as always, to do parks.
Mm-hmm.
You and I think, are going to work together on Wednesday, too, if I remember from what Charles says. We'll do probably Tampa Bay Downs that day.
Okay.
I know that Tom wants to do some Foreign Friday. They got some really big races at Shaw 10, I think, this weekend. So we're going to – I don't know if that's going to be late tonight or late tomorrow night, but we'll do it. Keep an eye on our social sites at the Horse Race today. Horse race the number 2 day. Our good friend Swiss Army Sean will let you know when that's going to happen. And then, of course, while you're here on YouTube, kindly hit the subscribe button, the like button, copy the link on the share button, and put that on your social sites so that your friends who like horse racing might find a winner or 2, or just laugh at some of Terry's jokes.
Yeah. I don't think I make too many of them. So
no, all right, yeah, let's go today, baby. I agree with you, Christopher D'Souza. Let's go, baby. Any final thoughts from you, Terry, before we wind our way out of here today?
I just hope that you have a good rest of the week, and people watch out for any of this bad weather that's going on. And then also just tell your loved ones and your friends how you feel about them, especially if you love them, and because you just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I say go for it, right? Steve Jobs, if you haven't done so yet, folks, Steve Jobs had a great speech at Stanford in the commencement speech. It's something I watch. Yeah, we're all human beings. Some days we have a good day. Some days we have bad days. And whenever I'm having a bad day, I watch the Steve Jobs commencement speech at Stanford. Wonderful speech. And it just reminds you, man, like you said, Terry, we all don't know when we're going to go. And the very fact that we are going to go means we have absolutely nothing to lose while we're here. So let's make the most of it. And let's hope that along the way, we get God's blessings, God's favor, and everything that we do, no matter how circuitous the route, ends up in
the winner's circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us this week. I look forward to joining you and Terry on Monday for Parks. Have a fantastic weekend.